Jack, talk about it. You're going to be doing your show. It'll also be simulcasted on Salem Radio Network. Tell us about it.
Well, that's right. So it's really just kind of a happy accident in many ways, or perhaps, you could say we planned it that way. Given that it was a Charlie Kirk idea, it was probably planned out in advance that way. But so it's, you had the 12 to 3, but then my show was always sort of 2 to 3. And so the idea being that we were up on Real America's Voice at that time, but then you were covering down 2 to 3 on both. And so we were sort of simultaneously overlapping each other. So it turned out to be that when we were looking at this third hour, said, okay, what could we do with it? That, hey, I was already doing a show in that hour to begin with. And so it just sort of made sense to say, well, why don't we just put that show out? And being able to have a few conversations with the Salem team and having them understand that I'm not only all about what their values are, but in many ways, I was able to learn the values of the conservative movement and actually learn what it means to be in a conservative in America by just listening to Salem. And in fact, for people who don't even know the deeper backstory, humanevents.com was actually under Salem at one point, and it later went independent. But now I kind of feel like it's almost like Human Events and Salem are rekindling that great partnership. And so it's an incredible place to be with everything that's going on in our country.
So Jack, this is a total blitzkrieg right now that we're seeing from President Trump. Talk about the media strategy of flooding the zone and overwhelming the system. Do you think it's working?
Well, Charlie, it's absolutely working. Look, I talk to journalists a lot more frequently than in the past. They used to have this more antagonistic relationship, but suddenly they realized that, if they want to actually know what's going on, we might have to talk to people like Jack Posobiec or a Charlie Kirk, and they're all telling me we can't keep up. What you guys are doing is so fast, and they don't realize how many years people in this movement have spent studying these issues and understanding these nodes. So you've got Mike Benz on USAID. That's just one spot. If you think that was big, wait till you see what comes next. When it comes to Tulsi Gabbard and the intelligence community, RFK, with the Maha movement, with the FDA and the FTC even a little bit, and a number of these places. And so they didn't realize that President Trump had this ability with this all-star team that he put together to go through and be firing down on multiple avenues, multiple verticals at the same time in a place where they don't even know where to put their resources, because look at the corporate media. They've actually been downsizing over the past couple of years. Why? Because people are checking out of corporate media. And then Elon comes in with X, and what does X do? X democratizes information. You can go right on there. You can post anything. Boom. You can see what's going on in any one of these verticals, and there's no censorship. So you don't have anyone telling you what you need to think. You can actually go. You could watch this program. You could watch a hearing. You can see what's happening. You can look up research. You've got Grok. You've got all these different features. It is fantastic. And so what President Trump has done is utilize this, and his team, the comms team with Stephen Chung, with Caroline Levitt as the press secretary, they've understood that the way to get ahead of the media is to literally drive fast. Caroline Levitt just a couple of minutes ago announced that these illegal alien flights are already beginning down to Guantanamo Bay. The media hasn't even been able to pick up on any of this yet because it's all moving way faster than, and I'm sorry, guys, you're going to have to start working or you're going to be left in our dust.
That is right. Jack, in the 1 minute remaining, what is on the horizon that you're looking at right now? Big fights where the MAGA faithful need to be aware and manning the ramparts.
Well, look, we know Tulsi Gabbard, that's going to come up in a couple of minutes. I feel good about this vote right here. Of course, all of this goes down to the floor, though. So you got Bobby Kennedy, Kash Patel, Tulsi Gabbard. It still has to go down to a floor vote. A lot of people think the committee vote is the floor vote. I get it. It's wonky. It's the system. We have to work with what we have. But understand, none of these people have been confirmed until they're confirmed by the United States Senate. And there's some senators out there, Charlie, who I think might need a little bit of our attention, maybe just to hold their hand as we walk them down the aisle, so that they can go and make sure to confirm the president's cabinet.